Hey y'all, welcome back to Goalpost Barbecue and Cooking. If it's Goalpost, it's good. I'm Robert Weathers, and today what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a classic barbecue side dish, one of my favorite things in the world to make and to eat for sure, and that is barbecue beans. What we're gonna do here today is we're gonna throw these on over some cherry and hickory wood and smoke them up under some ribs and let that ribby goodness drip down into the beans while they're cooking. We're also going to layer them with bacon and lots of layers of not only that salt and that savoriness from the bacon, but also sweetness from molasses, honey, and brown sugar. We're really going to load these things up, and then we're going to put in what I would consider to be the secret ingredient. So you'll have to stay tuned, watch, and find out what that is. But first, we're gonna get started with our ingredients. So y'all stick around. We're gonna have a good time today, and I am excited to show you how I do barbecue beans. Got our ingredients set up over here. You're gonna see this is a very simple process. What you're gonna do is you're gonna start out with one medium to large onion. This is sort of a medium large one here. Take that, get it into the bowl. Lovely. I'm gonna take this bacon and set it over here just for space. All right, excellent. So after that, we're gonna move on to our actual beans. Now, I like to do a mix of beans usually. So I've got a can of Great Northerns here. I've drained them out about as good as I can get them drained. As Caitlin was pointing out just a moment ago, they're a little goopy. So, got another can of Great Northerns here that are not nearly as goopy. And then our third can is dark kidneys. Now I'm gonna go ahead and tell you that we're gonna make more than is gonna fit in our little 9x9 tin, but that's all right. You can either put it into another tin if you want, or sometimes for us, what I'll do is I'll make beans for everybody, and then I'll make a separate little tin for our vegan friend who doesn't obviously want the bacon. All right, so now we've got these beans and the onions in. We're gonna continue on with some yellow mustard here. I shook it up pretty good a minute ago. Let's see how watery it gets. Oh, not too bad. We are running low on mustard though, that's okay. There we are. That's all right. That's plenty. How much of any of this is going in here? I really, seriously, genuinely cannot tell you. I don't know. I put in here what I think looks good. To me, that looks good. I let what it looks like and what it smells like be the guide on how much of anything that I put in. Next, we're gonna start putting in our sweets. So we got brown sugar here. So, what is that? Maybe like a quarter cup, third of a cup, packed pretty good. There we go. Put our used ingredients over here. Gonna continue with our sweets. So I'm at the end of this molasses here. We'll see how much of it I can get out of there. This molasses is going to not only bring sweetness to the party, but it's also going to darken these things up pretty good. There we go. So we'll just let that be. So you can see how much of each of those are in. We'll put in some honey here as well. Told you there's going to be plenty of sweet in this party. There you go. Get it. There you go. Make your wife laugh in the next room. Just like I'm doing. There we go. I don't know if you could hear her. She just said, "Those poor people." All right. If you're still watching the video, congratulations. Okay, so we've got our sweet in. We're going to put a little bit of smoke in these with some barbecue sauce. Today we're using Berman's. This is from Aldi, Memphis style barbecue sauce, because the ribs that are out there right now are going to be using the sauce as well. So I'll put some barbecue sauce in. There we go. Not a bad taste on that. I actually haven't tasted it yet. I was going in blind with that. I don't normally add much pepper in, but I'm going to add a little bit here today just to see how it affects it. It's probably maybe a tablespoon, probably more like half a tablespoon. And then we add in our special ingredient. You've heard me say this a number of times. If you've watched the videos, I'm going to say it again. If you want to improve your cooking, there's two things you can start doing right now. The first is start making your own stocks. The second is start cooking with booze. So we're going to take this and we're going to put in too much liquid. All right. So I got about half a can in here now. Let's get this all stirred up. There we go. And that's the smell, y'all. Oh yeah, that smells like barbecue beans already. Make sure that you're in frame here so you're seeing this pretty good. Sorry about my hands. Get that stirred up. Okay. That smells awesome. Oh, by the way, I wanted to show you this just so you don't think that I'm lying to you about how I cook. This is my recipe card for it. So you can see the only numbers that I've got on here is 1 onion and 3 cans of white beans. The rest of it, you can see also at some point I replaced the ketchup with barbecue sauce and I never looked back. So I highly recommend that you do the same. On the back it just says combine all but the bacon in a bowl, pour into an 8x8 tin and arrange. Smoke at 250. We're going to do more like 275 today for 4 to 5 hours until thickened and yummy. You can see that I literally put that on the card. And it will be thickened and yummy. So take a look at this, y'all. This is probably about how thick, maybe a little thinner than you would want them to turn out at the end. So I'm gonna put some more liquid in. And if you don't drink beer or what have you, this is not gonna taste like beer. Not at all. This beer is gonna bring its own unique flavor here into this party, something that you just would not get with even some other highly flavorful components like Dr. Pepper or something like that. I'm telling you, do it with beer and you won't ever look back. Just like I never looked back from switching to barbecue sauce. All right, so you can see how much thinner that is there. And again, that smells really, really good. It's a little light for what I'd like, so I'm going to go ahead and put in a little more molasses. This is still molasses, it's just a different brand. I love the taste of molasses. I'm going to put in a little more barbecue sauce too. Throw that in and give it a yeah, you can see right away how that's darkening it up for us. Perfect. Okay, y'all, I'm gonna grab a tin. We're gonna pour these in and we're gonna get these things topped in some bacon and get them out onto the smoker. Okay, now y'all, I normally would do this over the sink just for safety's sake, but because I love you so much and I appreciate your viewership, we're gonna throw caution to the wind. I'm gonna put this spoon in here just a little bit so it'll kind of diffuse it as it's going into the pan. Not too bad. There we go, that's good. Now you can see there's some left over here. You can do what you want to with those. I'm gonna stick them in the sink real quick because they're dripping a little bit. Perfect. Wipe that up. Okay, so let's take a look at these beans. You see how thin those are? That might concern you, but don't let it. All right. Now I didn't taste any of this, but you can taste this. I know really what it tastes like. Yep, that's about right. This already tastes like baked beans. When we get some smoke on this, they're gonna be something next level. But they can't be next level, as you well know, without bacon. So it's time for us to add that on. Now with bacon, you got two choices. You can go with the leaner side or the fattier side. For more flavor, put in that fattier side. For more eatable, chewable bacon, then you can put in this side here. I'm gonna put in this side here because we're gonna be putting these under the ribs that are already out there, and there's gonna be other fat dripping in too. I'll probably end up using some of this anyway. So if you thought for a moment that maybe I was lying about in other videos about not being a trained cook, watch how I do this bacon weave. And you'll see that I'm not lying. This is just what I sometimes refer to as my poor man's bacon weave. It's almost like making a little flag. And this is exactly what I do. Now you can see that these are not covering the whole pan, but that's all right. We're going to take these pieces here and lay them. Well, that's a wafer thin piece right there, isn't it? Lay them across just like this. And like I said earlier, you can see pretty quick that we're going to need to use some of these other pieces, and that's just fine. Nothing to worry about there. That's a pretty well covered spot, so I'm going to go ahead and come down here. And that looks pretty good. So this bacon right here, I'm going to save, put it into a skillet and use it to top salads, or maybe make a sandwich out of it. Yummy. Still good, still bacon. And here we are. This guy is ready to transfer out into the smoker. This bacon's going to take on a lot of smoke. It's going to cook nicely, and that smoke is still going to get down in there. And I'm going to, as you'll see when I stir it, I'm going to put my spoon in there and just kind of whirl it around, try and get some more smoke in there on the smoker. But this again is ready to go, so let's take her outside. Here we are, y'all. Let's get these beans onto the smoker. Oh, hello there. Oops, excuse me. What do we have here? Some good looking ribs, huh? Done on a budget too. Make sure you check out our budget ribs video. When I took what I could find at Aldi to make some good barbecue on the cheap. But for now, we're focusing on these ribs. So, pay no attention to the gross water down in the bottom of the smoker. I'm gonna tell you now something, y'all. This is important. As you're transferring these ribs on, if you got something that you don't mind sitting down and getting covered in smoke at the bottom, that's gonna be the easiest way to do this. I, however, don't have something at present that I don't mind getting ruined. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take these and put them down here like this. But when we take these out, what I'm gonna do is take them out on the grate, set them over there, and slide them onto that cookie sheet again. But these guys are gonna be just fine right here. It is about 1:15. Again, we're gonna want these to cook for at least 3 hours, probably a little bit longer. And then we'll be ready to eat. So we're gonna let these cook for a little bit, and we'll be able to check on them in just a little while. Checking on these beans at about an hour in. Forgive the shaky camera, y'all. I left the tripod inside. Got these ribs on. But you can see down here how these beans are doing. They are looking nice. I know it's blurry, but I'm just having a hard time moving the grates and all of that. You can see that they're taking on smoke there. They are looking nice. Only about an hour or so in at this point. I like that, how that's turning out though. And we'll check in on them again in a little while. The really great thing about beans is that once you've made them, you can just kind of put them on and let them go. They're just going to sit there, and those ribs, the exposed ones at least, are still going to drip, and they're going to be yummy here in just a little while. We're just going to let that excess moisture evaporate out of them, and then all's well. So we'll check back on them in a little while here. Everything's going smoothly today. See you in a little bit. All right, now these beans have been going for about 2.5 hours. Let's take a look at them and see how they're doing. You can see I've moved them to the top rack here, and I think that they're looking pretty good. Just gonna move this here a little bit. Now, you'll forgive the temperature gauge from this rack of ribs here, but we're just gonna give these a stir because they're a little soupy, I think. Yeah. Yep, a little bit soupy. Okay, so sometimes when this happens, it's just that they're not cooking at a high enough temperature. So what we can do is we can try and raise the temperature in here and get these to boil off. I don't know if you can see, but just in stirring them, the steam is coming off of them. There's a lot of fat sitting on top of them too. So I'm gonna go ahead and just stir this bacon in here. And we're gonna give this liquid an opportunity to evaporate off. Let's see how they're tasting. It's gonna be really hot. Taste is there, definitely there. Okay, that's all right. We're gonna put these, put the lid back on, crank up the heat, and get these guys rolling. Let them evaporate out a little bit, and then these are gonna be good to go. All right, now y'all, these beans have been on for about 3 hours. Let's take a look at them, see how they're doing. All right, not terrible. Taking on some smoke here. Oop, just dropped some. Sorry. Still pretty loose, but they are coming together a little bit more. Yeah, this is just a matter of time here. So I have turned up the heat on these. Don't worry, these ribs are pretty much done. They're coming off here pretty soon. And we're gonna just try and reduce these and get them down to a good, little bit thicker consistency. So for me, that's just a little bit too much, but that's okay. The taste on these, let's see. The taste is good. That's good. If we could just get some of this water out of here, I'd be real happy with that. So we're just gonna let these go. We're gonna get these ribs off here probably, but that's for the other video. And we'll check back on these beans here in just a little while. All right. All right, y'all. It's 5 o'clock. I got people here. They hungry, and these beans are being problematic. So I'm gonna pull a Harry Sue here. Harry Sue says BTUs is BTUs. They've taken a lot of smoke, but they are not getting above 190. I cannot get them to boil, so we're gonna take them inside, put them in a pot, and we're gonna reduce them there. Sorry, I'm just a little irritated. All right, y'all, here we are. We've let this reduce on the stove for a little while, and that's much better. And you can see there's some steam still coming off there, but overall, that's looking really good. So now all that's left, I think, is to give it a taste test and to put it out on the table. Like that. Beautiful. Okay, so we did have a little trouble with these beans here today, but that's okay. You know, cooking is about going with the flow and making changes as you need to. So what we needed to do was put some more heat, and applying more heat on the Smoky Mountain is a little difficult. So, and it takes time. So we could bring them in. They've already got smoke in them. They've already got this bacon fat, this rib fat in there. And these guys are ready to go. So I hope that you can see that. But we got to give these a little bit of a taste. So I'm gonna pull up just a little bit here. Oh yeah. Yep. There's so much more in there with that beer in there than what I used to do is put like Dr. Pepper or Coca-Cola in there. It's just deeper and richer. You can taste the bacon fat, you can taste the beans, of course, you can taste all that sugar in there, but it's not overpoweringly sweet. That smoke and sweet and salt, it all just balances beautifully. So thank you so much for enduring this with me. I know that you didn't see as much of the troubles outside as I did, but you know, we had flies. It'd been really bad this summer. The smoker just would not come to temp. These guys would not come up high enough for me to get some of this excess water off. So hey, but that's part of cooking, and I'm not going to censor that or make myself look better by removing it. I think that what's really important is that you see that you can do this. If you just have a little bit of adaptability, you can make some really awesome barbecue to include these barbecue beans or cooking overall. So thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you sticking through with me here. If you enjoyed what you saw, make sure you hit that like and make sure you subscribe. More videos are definitely on the way. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down in the comments section. I'm really looking forward to building base and also interacting with those who are following this channel. Thanks so much, y'all. Hope you have a great day. I really hope you enjoy the video, and we'll see you next time. Remember, these beans, delicious. You know why? Because they're goalposts. And if it's goalposts, it's good.